What's up, everybody? KG here, founder of the InternetMoney.io wallet, coming at you today with a stream that I'm very excited about. This is an individual who has been requested by you all, by the community, and he actually makes a lot of incredible crypto content outside of the PulseChain ecosystem. So this is going to be a stream where we're going to have a lot of conversation, not centered around the normal topics, which I'm very excited about because, as you all know, I enjoy learning about crypto and I enjoy talking to other people who have different perspectives in crypto than myself. So you may have seen his YouTube channel. And if you haven't, his link is in the description below. So go check out his content because he's always dropping gems and he is one of my favorite people to watch in the space. So I'm going to play our quick intro, and when we come back, I'm going to introduce our guest.
Got my own keys and my own coin. Gotta protect this money. Took too long for me to get it. Can't let them take this from me.
Hello.
What is going on?
How are you, Bleeves? It's good to see you.
I am doing real good, man. How about you?
I'm doing great. I'm very thankful that you're here today. Like I said in the beginning, you've been a big request from the community.
My pleasure to be here. I'm happy to be here. As a matter of fact, I love PulseChain. I'm not a maxi like some other people, but going back to 2021, you can probably find old videos of me talking about Hex all the way back in the day. So, I've been familiar, at least, if not with PulseChain as it exists right now, with the Hex community leading into the launch of PulseChain. And I have both Hex and I sacrificed for, it escapes me right now. I sacrificed for Pulse, but I think it was PLS. I think I sacrificed for that back in 21 or 22. And I think I got a wallet somewhere with Pulse in it right now.
Nice. Well, that is even cooler to me, honestly, and I have seen some of your PulseChain content. That's actually what kind of sparked me to reach out this time again, was you were making some content about Bro token that launched on PulseChain. So I was like, oh yeah, Bleeves is into PulseChain. So, there was the PulseChain sacrifice, which got you PLS, the native coin. And then there was the PulseX sacrifice, which got you PLSX, which is the basically Uniswap of PulseChain. So yeah, the fact that you're out there making content that's not PulseChain related, but let's call it PulseChain friendly, I think is arguably the best possible type of awareness, whether it's PulseChain or insert ecosystem here, can have. Because when someone's a maxi, there's maxis in every system, that's fine. But when someone's a maxi, they're not getting the same type of respect, I would say, because people are like, oh, you're just saying that because you're bag biased. So when someone's out there covering general crypto but likes certain things, I think that's much better for an ecosystem.
When you're a maxi on something, you're not honest about everything. You don't look at the goods, you don't look at the bads. I used to do a podcast on Spaces, on Twitter Spaces, with a lot of Bitcoin maxis. And the most frustrating part for them, I think, was because I was always right. Like, I always joke about always being right. But when it came to Bitcoin, for a very long time, I'm just calling it. So I'm telling these guys what's going to happen. And they're, coming in with their wild conspiracies about we're going to 12,000, or, we're going to hit 130,000 before the halving. And, I'm telling all these people, like, you don't know what you're talking about. Like, you're just making stuff up. And I know most of the time where people are making their stuff up from, because the cool part about this business and this space is, if you pay attention to signals, you can find whatever signal you want to tell you whatever it is that you want. So I would go in there and I would tell them what's going to happen. And a week later, they'd be like, oh, here he comes again to tell us he was right. But I mean, but they don't understand the entire ecosystems. And then when they start to impart, like you get a Bitcoin maxi out here telling you something about Ethereum, they don't have a clue about Ethereum.
Right.
They have no idea why Ethereum will or will not pump. Then they have no idea why Solana will or will not pump. They just see new token and they look at just a random chart and say, well, it looks like this, so it's going to do this next. And this is not the way it works. So when you get those maxis, very difficult. So I try to stay, not necessarily, I have projects that I partner with, stuff like that. You know, Ben Armstrong I've been partnering with for a long time. Partner with Volt Inu for a very long time as well. So I have partners, but I try to stay, this is about me and what I think of crypto, and not what everybody else wants me to think of crypto or what I'm supposed to think about it.
That's a very valid and grounded perspective. I agree completely. When you have converted to absolute maximalism, you do enter into a point where you are intellectually dishonest, because there is no thing that human beings created that is without flaw, arguably. I mean, maybe Bitcoin or Ethereum is the closest thing possibly, but still arguably nothing is without flaw. So yeah, if you're not acknowledging the flaws, you're not acknowledging the whole picture. And I actually find that people appreciate when you acknowledge the flaws. They actually kind of trust the thing more because they know the risk mitigation points, rather than saying, oh, it's all perfect, don't worry about it. Who actually believes that?
Yeah. Well, you know, to be fair, because of the time, because of where we were in 2009 when Bitcoin was invented, Bitcoin is the perfect security token, but it's not perfect.
Hmm.
And it takes forever to do a transaction. That makes it prohibitive for people to mass adopt, except as a store of value, because it was the first and is still the most secure. And it's basically it's the granddaddy of all of it. So, but it's not without flaws. That's why there's a Lightning Network. That's why Coinbase just took over the Lightning Network. That's why there's so much happening. It took until, what is this, March of this year? It took until March or February of this year before we even got runes. So, you know, when you look at Bitcoin, it's the perfect thing from a security standpoint. From a technology standpoint, it doesn't get very much better on the surface. But when you break it down as a blockchain, it's a nothing. It's just a very slow money transfer process with no opportunity for growth. So, you know, that's why you build on it to try to make it faster, why you try to scale around and figure out ways to make it happen. And I mean, that's why you have the forks that you've had on it so far. So it's not perfect, but don't tell that to a maxi.
No, you can't. You're basically saying, hey, give me the guillotine. I mean, and to your point about the payments, so at Bitcoin Miami, I bought this Bitcoin NASCAR shirt. It was $30, but I wanted to support the movement. Obviously, I'm a crypto guy, so I paid in Bitcoin, which there was a $15 network fee at the time. So I paid 50% more for the shirt, and it took 30 minutes to settle. So I had to walk around the convention while my money was hanging out in the ether, waiting for the transaction to settle. No, it can't fix the payment method or the payment problem we have. It can't. People can't pay 50% more for goods and services and take 3,000 times longer to settle.
Yeah. The problem with all of crypto right now is the fact that Bitcoin was imperfect from that context when it came out. If everything could have been built and scaled on Bitcoin, we would not have all these other blockchains out here diluting the financial field. We wouldn't have a PulseChain. We wouldn't have an Ethereum. We wouldn't have a Solana. We wouldn't have an Avalanche. We wouldn't have any of these other. We wouldn't have SWE popping up out of nowhere. You know, we might have one of them, and maybe we'd still have Ethereum or something like that, because you always have to have competition.
Absolutely.
And competitors, and Bitcoin's not the answer for everything. You might still have a Ripple or XRP, I guess, out there, but you know, you would have a much lower volume of those, and you might even not have had meme coins the way that we have meme coins today. So, you know, it's a very interesting sort of problem that Bitcoin created by not being as robust as it could have been on that launch.
Absolutely. I mean, to your meme coin point, Dogecoin is Bitcoin. Litecoin's a fork of Bitcoin. Dogecoin's a fork of Litecoin, which some people give Dogecoin is the OG meme coin. So there probably would have been no Litecoin and therefore no Dogecoin and maybe no meme coins. And you're right. Also, with what I like to describe Ethereum as is the internet of crypto, because
Yep.
like Bitcoin, you physically cannot do anything else. Now they come out with ordinals and they're trying everything in their power, the maxis, to destroy ordinals. It's like, hey guys, we got the first bit of on-chain utility and we're going to try to light it on fire. Can we just run with it a little bit, please? It's going to make transacting more expensive because it's going to clog blocks. It's already expensive. It doesn't matter. Nobody's really buying coffee with Bitcoin. No one's paying 3x the price of their coffee to pay for the coffee. It's not happening. I can't even settle my Bitcoin in the line at Starbucks. I have to use something else.
You will soon. You'll be able to, because what's going to get adopted with Bitcoin, spoiler alert, is the Lightning Network.
Sure.
And Coinbase, of course, is going to be at the forefront of that. They've basically taken it over at this point and started to really make the development there. And then it is my opinion, and I don't have anything to back this up yet, but it is my opinion that what we're going to be paying with is not going to be Bitcoin. It's going to be sats. We're going to be paying with Satoshis. So that'll be the easier way of figuring out, how much something is. So, you won't even consider it as a Bitcoin at that point. You'll be considering Satoshi. You'll be paying in Satoshis on the Lightning Network,
which actually makes total sense. Hey, it's not 0.00076 Bitcoin. It's 700,000 Satoshis or whatever the
right.
conversion is. Right. That makes total sense.
Yeah, that's what I think is going to happen. And again, that's why, I mean, that's no matter what people think, and there are flaws in it, but otherwise Bitcoin, Fast Abdul says Bitcoin is boring. That's the best compliment you can give it. Like, that's actually what it's supposed to be. Like, it's not supposed to be this robust ecosystem. It's supposed to be a safe way to transact money without a third party being involved. I can send you money online, digitally, without going through your bank and my bank and clearing anything. I don't have to go through a clearinghouse overseas. I can just send anybody in the world money. I can go into a war zone, a hot zone, and I can send them money so that they can do what they need to do. So Bitcoin is beautiful, even if it is boring, but there's still flaws.
I hear you on that because, okay, sure, if you're buying coffee and buying t-shirts, $15 transaction fees, not sustainable. You're moving a few thousand, few 100,000, few million, few tens of millions. $15 is a drop in the bucket for that luxury of 24/7, 365 international, no middleman transfer of money. Apps, $15 is worth it all day. So I can see your point there. And okay,
and to be fair, I think that Bitcoin, if Bitcoin were to be built around today, now, it would probably be Caspa, because Caspa is virtually the same with a much faster, more robust ecosystem and the same level of security. So it's probably, it would probably be something more like Caspa today, which is why I think that, some of these things, I don't think that they have, like, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, we probably won't be looking at most of what we're seeing right now won't still be here. But,
absolutely.
A couple of these will be around. I mean, maybe Caspa's got a shot. I'm sure Ethereum has a shot, but if you just kind of drop down into the levels, I think Ethereum probably buys or merges with Polygon at some point. I think it probably takes Optimism at some point, and that becomes a merger. We're not even in the mergers and acquisitions.
No, you're right.
Of crypto yet. So, all these L2s that are out here, I don't think they are. And I think meme coins probably end up coming off of Ethereum and going into something like Shibarium or, some other place. So, it's a very weird and a very interesting sort of ecosystem that we have that has not yet matured and evolved. But when it evolves, things are going to change dramatically. You won't recognize crypto in 20 years.
I can imagine that those who are here deep Bitcoin day one can say the same thing already.
Yeah.
When the only thing was, do you like crypto or don't you? And you had one option. Now it's even us being in this industry full time every day, I can't keep up with it all. It's impossible because new stuff is. If you watch the chain, there's probably on Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain especially, there's probably thousands of tokens launching every hour.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
100,000 tokens launched, or 10,000 tokens, I think. 10,000 tokens or 100,000. 100,000 tokens launched last month.
On Ethereum?
On all chains.
Gotcha. That
100,000 tokens launched last month. So we're not even in the building. So the question becomes, how do we? I mean, that's why we need regulation in the industry. And I'm not a maxi for the government to be involved in anything, but there are fundamental problems that we have in cryptocurrency that can only be addressed by governments providing some sort of blueprint on what is or is not allowed in your region. And if we just operate under the assumption of one, Bitcoin will be allowed no matter where. The way we transact that Bitcoin might change. It may no longer just be Bitcoin. Again, it'll be the Lightning Network or something along those lines. Ethereum, as it moves to proof of stake and continues to work its way into, I think we just got the proto-dank sharding, but it was L2, even though, by the way, fees for Ethereum, I told everybody fees were coming down, and everybody told me, you're a fucking idiot, man. You don't know what you're talking about because only working on the L2s. I'm like, you don't understand how this works, because when you do these dank shards, when you do these roll-ups from the they're called blobs. When you roll up these blobs, you're reducing network traffic. And the problem with Ethereum is network traffic. So you solved some of the network traffic, which is why suddenly, if you remember, I mean, going back into like meme coin phases and stuff like that, and during crazy times with high traffic, some Bitcoin or some Ethereum transactions, $100, $200, $300, $400. And today,
oh yeah,
I mean, you look at the gas fees, and even the gas fees, when you were looking at a gas fee of like 30 or 40 on Ethereum with high transaction volume, it was a lot more expensive than it is right now. So, whatever they did in the background as they were fixing it, like right now, to give you an example, gas fee at this point right now is 5
Gwei.
When's the last time you saw gas price of 5 Gwei on Ethereum? And then you might be saying to yourself, well, that's kind of a bad sign because, in my mind, that means that nobody's trading, right? I mean, that's what you would think when you do that. But if you go check out DeFi Llama trade volume on Ethereum right now, $1.6 billion in the last 24 hours. So there's nothing fundamentally slow or wrong or screwed up on Ethereum at this point. They've actually fixed a lot of the concerns and problems that we've been having. Is it still expensive? Yes. Is it as expensive as it was? No, it's not even close to what it used to be. So, Ethereum did a great job, or at least the team that did, I think it was Denkun was the last big update. The team that did Denkun, like they really nailed Ethereum in a fundamental way that kind of changed the game. And most of the people that see the reward for that are Arbitrum and Base and Optimism and all these other chains. But Ethereum is still experiencing an almost renaissance period by virtue of the lower Gwei, a more robust ecosystem now. Solana was catching up and beating them every once in a while, but lately that's not even happening again. It's about Ethereum, even though Solana still has that vast ecosystem. It's building and building and building. And by the way, that the action thing that they just launched, oh my God, that's a game changer for the entire ecosystem. We are on the cusp of mass adoption in a way that we didn't even know before. And now it looks like it's going to be led by Solana. So unbelievable.
Can you dive into that a little more? Tell me about what you're talking about.
Yeah, so Solana yesterday released a toolkit that will allow you to buy crypto on any website or use crypto on any website that has the action uh, software on it, or the toolkit on it, that you'll be able to just transact everything in crypto.
Wow.
And it's multi-chain. It's not even just Solana. It's multi-chain. So like yesterday, Solana changed the crypto game fundamentally. It's a matter now of websites adopting. The problem, of course, is in the United States, you can't pay with that because it creates a tax problem. Companies don't want to deal with the headache of cryptocurrency at this point because there's no regulation. They don't know what they can and cannot do.
Right.
And they don't want Gary Gensler coming at them and saying, well, you're going to have to pay me a bunch of money for nothing. So we're not there yet, but we've got the toolkit in place so that when we are there, this thing is going to just it's going to be amazing. It's the game has changed. We just have to give it a little patience for everybody to adopt to adopt the software and create the ecosystems, and we're off to the races.
That is very interesting. I did not hear the news about Action, and I agree that that's huge. That let's say if someone has a Shopify store and they can just plug in this plugin, and now they're selling their merch for XYZ coin or token. That is huge. Now, I'm actually very pro, not maxi, but pro Ethereum. And I think that Ethereum, they innovate a lot of this stuff. And I feel like and it seems like a lot of the galaxy brain engineers are drawn to Ethereum. And
I put the link in chat there.
Oh, cool. And I
so
think
everybody can read through it. It's called Actions and then Blinks. There's two different toolkits that are going to be available. Actions and Blinks delivers on one of the internet's original promises. They make experiences portable, shareable, actionable on any surface. From your X feed, you can buy an NFT, tip a creator, receive money, vote, stake, swap, and so much more. And they just do it on X right now, but it's going to be everywhere.
They do it.
Anybody can adopt it, and
it's on X right now.
Yeah.
I didn't see the message come through.
Yeah, it says that the comment failed to post. Yeah, I'm going to put it in private chat here so you can see it there.
Yep.
There we go.
Let's see.
Yeah, I'm not able to post for some reason in your chat. It says the comment has failed to post to Internet Money Wallet, but there it is.
Here, I'll drop it in the chat here. This is cool. Yeah, I agree that this is huge. But I think Solana, when I hear people talk about Solana, I don't hear them talk about innovation. I hear them talking about what shitcoin can I buy that's going to hopefully not rug me on Radium. That seems to be the narrative.
That's who we're listening to. That's not really Solana, the Solana Foundation. That's just who we listen to on X.
Okay.
Because what you see right here is you see a toolkit that changes the game. Whoever this is over here says doesn't sound like a tool that's too unique, but you don't actually see that everywhere. What you're missing is there are point of sale systems, but you're talking about XRP. That's not built for the internet. That's not built for X. That's not built for all these different places. All these other places are not built for different places. And by the way, every one of these blockchains could do something like that. SWI, Caspa, Ethereum, any one of them could do it. And this toolkit just creates the front end so that you can do it easily and transact through that ecosystem. It's not that nobody has created it. It's not that nobody has done it before. It's that nobody's integrated it into the internet in this way. And this is where it's happening right now. They're not recreating the wheel. They're not creating a new blockchain. All they're doing is giving you the tools so that you can just download it to your website and boom, you're ready to go.
That is big. And you did bring up a good point too about we can have all these cool tools, but if nobody's using them, what difference does it make? And so one little thing that I do out there in the world, and I encourage every crypto person to do this, even if you know for a fact the place you're doing business at does not accept crypto, ask them if they do and encourage them to accept it. I ask every single restaurant, I'll tell the waiter, hey, can I tip you in crypto? Always just asking, because if more people ask and the ethos feels the demand, more people are going to adopt it. But we all got to play our part. They're not just going to integrate this and allocate their devs and spend money on infrastructure building these things unless there's a demand for it. So go out there and cause that demand.
I bought a laptop from Shopify in, I want to say late 2021. I bought a laptop from Shopify. It was a dog shit laptop. I paid way too much for it. And it was garbage. I mean, it was already antiquated, but it was what Shopify had, and I was trying to be supportive. And I think the gas fees on it were like $60. After I bought a $300 laptop for $1,500, I then paid like $60 for gas fees. Like, it exists. You can do it, but it's not simple at this point. It's not robust at this point. When you do a transaction on Solana right now, you're paying like 0.0001 Solana. Like, that's less than a penny.
Right.
Whereas on Ethereum, even on a good day, you're paying $3, $4, $5. You can't build on Ethereum the type of system that some people would need in order to, we're not innovating a lot. Ethereum is innovative, and Ethereum by itself continues to innovate. Mm-hmm. But the people who are building on Ethereum have to rely on layer 2 in order to create payment systems and in order to operate in certain ways. You can't just do it with Ethereum. That's nonsense.
I hear exactly what you're saying there. I'll give you that, because when we launched the first part of our protocol, we actually launched on Ethereum first, but we're a small project at the time, and we're driven to Binance actually because simple actions like creating a liquidity pool cost $2,000. And then, okay, if you, at that time, that was when swapping was like $300. And so you have someone coming in for $50, $100 buyer or seller. Again, now we're talking, they're paying 3x the entire amount that, so yeah, Ethereum does get priced out. And that really is Ethereum's biggest problem, especially on a day when traffic is already popular. And then someone comes out with the popular NFT mint. Now everybody's paying for it, even if you don't even know it exists. So no, you're right. I will give Solana that. And, that's a benefit of things like Solana, PulseChain, Binance Smart Chain, where I think even Cardano is pretty inexpensive, where you can still build this smart contract-based technology. And I can go create a liquidity pool on PulseChain right now for less than a penny. So it's like those low fees are very important.
PulseChain still has a little bit of a problem because, I mean, what do you take, 96 validators for one transaction?
Oh, you mean 96? Yeah, that's to get in and out of the bridge.
To get in and out, that's a lot.
Yeah,
that's still prohibitive to onboarding people, because I can't tell you how many times I've sent somebody over for bro tokens or something like that, and people have been like, dude, I can't figure this out. Like, I followed everything that you said and it's not working for me. I'm like, it's working for you. It's just that, here's how the bridge works. And you have to go up here and you have to click up here and you have to, so just click the gear up here and it'll say you can claim your funds. You have to scroll down, you have to find it is very complicated to onboard and offboard on PulseChain still, because nobody simplified the process. And then when you're getting stuff off, it requires a lot of validators doing a lot of validation. And I think the first time I did it was something like an hour and 15 minutes before I could move from Pulse back to Ethereum. The second time I did it, I think it was 30 minutes. And then I think it was down to like 15 minutes the last time I did it. But that's still a long time.
And a lot of people don't know you have to do that second claim on Ethereum. Right. And so they think they lose their money.
Yep.
And so it is a problem that the community is aware of, and it's still a new chain, and there are, like, our team, for example, we're a MetaMask alternative, but we're native to PulseChain, so people don't have to mess around with RPC settings and adding token addresses, and there's price tracking for all your assets. So that's one step. We're working on, like, integrating the bridge and fiat on ramps, but the things just take time. So I'll completely agree with you that PulseChain is difficult to get into and out of, and that has been one of its biggest Achilles heels.
Well, so how do you fix? Let's just say for the moment, PulseChain is what you would call true DeFi. The rest of this stuff, not even close by comparison.
Mm-hmm.
How do you bridge that and make it easier to onboard to get people into a true DeFi ecosystem? And secondly, do you even want to navigate? I mean, here's the problem. The problem with a lot of these, and in PulseChain, I have to include in this, even though I'm a fan, like, there's not a whole lot of guardrails to help you along in the process. That creates you have to be savvy in order to get there. But in order for you to grow it, you have to get people who are not savvy onto the chain. And that is a problem. And it's going to take some developers stepping in. The problem, I think the problem is it's easier right now for developers to develop in other ecosystems because there's just more people. Yep. I mean, if you want to sell your wares, if you want to sell your goods, if you want to provide yourself, if you want to create something for you have to go where the people are. I mean, you don't put a store in the middle of the desert. You put a store in the middle of the city, and that's how it works. And I do work for Luna Classic, Terra Luna Classic, basically not a dead blockchain, but for all intent and purposes died. So what's happening now? Well, Luna is being closed down because of Terraform Labs settling with the SEC. Mm-hmm. Terraform Labs is no more. Luna is going to become public instead of private. And then from there, Alliance is dead because that's run by Terraform. And so it doesn't exist anymore. So now Alliance is, and I talked to a developer today, Alliance is coming to Luna Classic. They're immediately picking it up. So what Luna Classic is doing is they're taking the thing that creates the cross-chain bridge, like Nathan says right here, the cross-chain bridges. Luna Classic is doing it all right now to create an ecosystem. This is the thing that they've been waiting. One of the things that they've been waiting for all this time is the ability to bring people in from other chains and give them tools in which they can create. So the tools just got created, got updated. And now you've got the Alliance bridge, which means that people can start adding liquidity and staking and doing everything. And by the way, the Alliance protocol, 3x more staking rewards than the current station system. So, everything about Alliance says that Luna Classic is about to have a really big run. And it's because of that cross-chain bridge and because of its ability to bring in more users and become more friendly to everybody who's trying to build on it.
That's valid. To your first point, you want, especially builders, and I guess everybody really, you want to build products that people are going to use. A, because that's how you make money. B, if you make art, you want it to be appreciated. You don't want to have the best painting in the world that collects dust in your closet, Mm-hmm. So there's that. And as far as these systems to make it easier to onboard into PulseChain, fiat on-ramps, because like you said, PulseChain has a DeFi, decentralized ethos. Centralized protocols and infrastructure seems to be the easiest way to onboard. Hey, I can put my credit card in. Hey, I can go right from Coinbase. I can buy that ETH. All these systems, because I think Phantom Opera, they're kind of bigger, but they're also still in this, hey, it's weird to get over there, right? You got to buy BNB and bridge it over. Maybe there's some fiat on-ramps that I'm not aware of, but these chains, they remain as enthusiast chains for now, right? You like the community, you like the founder, you like the branding, whatever it is, and so you're an enthusiast about it. But no, I agree with you completely that there are many degrees before PulseChain gets that adoption momentum, and the community is also aware of that. And there are some really awesome and smart builders on the chain, but it's just every time we get that momentum, like your Ben comes along, launches his meme coin, he's using his influence, you're using your influence, and everyone's like, "Where's my money? It's too hard," So it's like you get the opportunity, and you you deliver a ham sandwich.
Yeah. Well, the problem, and this is not a problem to PulseChain, it's a problem to almost every chain, is that you're kind of like, when you're really decentralized, there's nobody in charge. In this situation, let's just say Richard Hart got some people together. They built a nice little copy of Ethereum, launched it, did everything that needed to be done to get it running. Now it runs. Well, now how is he going to attract new investors and new people over here? That's not his job. His job is to build it and create it so that people can come. Your internet money wallet, you got to figure out how to bring people in here. You got to figure out how to get people using your wallet. Bro Token has to figure out a way to make it easy to get access. They have to find a partner that's, look, we're trying to bridge over here and it's a pain in the ass. How do I fix this problem? This is a problem. You know what I mean? Like it's on these people. And here's the one thing that PulseChain and the PulseChain Foundation, is it the Pulse Foundation or PulseChain Foundation?
PulseChain Foundation, but that's a community built thing. It's not a
their obligation should be to find a way to provide funding for people so that they can create the ecosystem and then oversee how that building goes and how to continue funding the projects in order to soften the curve to get people into the ecosystem. That's what all of these things should be doing. And if they were doing it all the right way, then we'd be a lot further along than we currently are.
Yeah, the PulseChain Foundation they've done one fundraiser so far where they got Pulse listed on MEXC. So that was the first, middle tier centralized exchange.
Fuck right? MEXC. Ugh.
A lot of the community felt that way. So now the PulseChain Foundation is working on getting Alchemy Pay, which I believe is a credit card on-ramp solution.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the next initiative right now. They have done one builder grant, but it was, I think, only a few $1,000, but still it was something.
Well, let me point something out here.
Yep.
MEXC was so that people would continue buying, so that it would pump the chart. That's pump my bag. That's not onboarding more people. What they need to do is the foundation should be able to, or it's probably not, but it should have been focused on, how do I create a revenue system, because the fees are too low. If you can't pay anybody anything to do anything, the fees have to be able to pay for, the system PulseChain has to be able to pay for expansion, not expansion in, getting on more exchanges so that it can pump people who are holding PLS bags. That shouldn't be the purpose. You should do that, because once you get on a few exchanges and you get a little vibrance in the community, other exchanges will be like, you know what, we're going to list it too, because they want to make the money off of it. But that's not what their function or their reason for existing should be. Their function and reason for existing should be calling up other companies that are currently building on other blockchains and say, look, I have a problem here. What will it take for you guys to help me make it easier for people to onboard? Can I go to pulsechain.com and can I start trading? Can I start doing anything at this spot? right? And I know, by the way, that it's very complicated. You can't even do that on Ethereum.com. But the point
Point
to it
taken.
is
Point taken.
that's what people should be working on. Where even if it's not, even if it's not PulseChain.com, there has to be like, Pulse Swap has to have the liquidity for people to be able to make it financially viable for them to trade. And then that should be what they're working on. How do I bring people in? How do I add liquidity? How do I create liquidity providers? How do I make it easy for those people to come in and out without validating it 96 times? Smaller investors, by the way, to do all these things that make it a simpler process. That's what they should be working on, not getting it listed on MEXC. Those I'm not telling people what to do, but I'm telling you that if that's what you're doing, you're wrong. You should be focused on how to create a vibrant ecosystem so that people like Nathan Espinoza can do his business on this chain and not have to go anywhere else. He doesn't have to go to MEXC. Donald Brandt doesn't have to go to MEXC. They can just do it on chain, and it's done, and it feels good. It feels vibrant. There's a front end that they can engage with. You know what I mean? Like even Uniswap, by the way, sucks. It's simple. It's
pretty
ridiculous.
basic.
So, there's a lot of things that are missed in it. And matter of fact, Jupiter is way more robust than anything else that people are using right now. Jupiter did a fantastic job of creating, and they inform people. They have futures contracts. You can provide liquidity for all of these, and it's simple to do. Like, these are forward-thinking people right now. And I don't mean to get off on a Solana's doing a great job.
No, please do.
But they kind of are. Like the people there are innovating, and they're creating situations in which transactions fail. There's still problems, but they're making it easy to onboard. It seems aggressive originally, but it's not really. And, Coinbase, by the way, has been doing a fantastic job of making it easy to onboard on Solana and PulseChain. And, Coinbase, the Coinbase wallet has, I don't care what anybody says, has made things a lot easier for a lot of people right now. They just don't even know it because they've integrated all kinds of different chains and made it easy for you to integrate chains that are not there. Like PulseChain is very simple to add, but all of these different native tokens that are out here, Solana and Bitcoin and Ethereum and Matic and Base and all these, they're just basically native at this point in Coinbase wallet. They just, I don't know how they're doing all of it, but they've obviously got a lot of people dedicated to figuring out how to make the experience easier. So shout out to Coinbase for that, despite, I don't think many people are fans of them.
We're in the wallet space as well, but
Yeah.
I'm still a crypto guy, and I give credit where credit is due. Coinbase is a great wallet, and there's a lot of things that Coinbase wallet is doing that we would like to integrate into our wallet. And, Coinbase, for all intents and purposes, they have unlimited money to do what they need to do. Yeah, okay, fair. They still have, profit and losses to consider, but they can build a wallet. They have all the money to do it. So, and, they've already gotten the green light from the American government. Sure, they get, some scrutiny every now and then, but they're already good. They've got USDC, which is, basically, it may even on paper be them, but I know that they're a big partner or, something of that effect.
They're the majority holder of Circle now.
There you go. Okay. So majority holder of Circle. So they got stable coins, exchanges, wallets, money. They got it all. They got the talent. They Coinbase. Yeah, we can dislike centralized exchanges as DeFi people, but they're making headways for crypto in the legacy space. And I got to say it, if as long as you're practicing your keys, your crypto, and you're not leaving your coins on Coinbase exchange, I really don't have that big of a problem with Coinbase as an individual. I think they're doing great work.
Yeah, it's still a centralized system building a decentralized wallet or a DeFi wallet. So, at some point there's probably going to have to be some kind of accounting for all of it. So enjoy it while it lasts at this point.
Right.
Because it won't last forever. Coinbase will figure out a way to monetize that wallet in ways that we can't even think of yet, or to integrate it further into Coinbase and make you more
Traceable.
adherent to whatever the policies are. There's going to be something that comes along that we're not seeing right now. But if you consider they bought USDC, or they became the majority investor in USDC towards the end of last year when they really kind of took over, and it's gone from 24 billion market cap to 33 billion market cap as of today.
Wow.
So, they're and remember, it fell off a cliff in March of last year when USDC depegged for that weekend.
It hit like 81 or 86.
And it hit 89 cents. And Justin Sun made a fucking mint off of it.
Nice arbitrage opportunity there,
He bought that up. He bought 80 million USDC that night at like 89 cents or something like that. And look, it's not a huge amount, but when you consider from 89 to $1, that's over 10%. So over 10%. A weekend, he made 10% off of 80 million, or maybe it was 70 million. He made millions of dollars that weekend just by throwing a bunch of money at USDC, because he knew fundamentally that it doesn't matter what happened with that bank. USDC is perfectly fine. People just freaked out and started selling and used the algorithm against it and started dunking on that price, but the assets were fine. And people just didn't understand that, and he did. So he made out like a bandit. But then, of course, over time, people were like, you know what, let's just go with USDT, which is a problem unto itself, allegedly. And then here we go. Coinbase steps in, says it's a perfect opportunity. And boom, takes a $25 billion project, now $32 billion.
Good for them.
And it's just dollar for dollar. So, yeah, shout out to Circle.
Yeah, and if USDC, okay, because I think that didn't that depeg get all swept up wasn't that part of the Terra Luna collapse?
No, it was SVB. It was
right
last year.
Right.
I think it was called Spring Valley Bank or something like that, or
right.
Silicon Valley Bank. Silicon Valley Bank collapsed, and they were that was one of those holding places for a lot of different crypto projects that were working out of goddamn, what's it called? Silicon Valley.
Right.
So, they were they were crypto bros. And as that bank started to fail, and as that run started to come on the bank and the money became an issue, people didn't realize that USDC, they only had like $5 million in that bank. They didn't have a ton of money there. So if you consider just, if you take a step back and you say, well, how much did they have there? It was $5 or $10 million. It wasn't a lot of money. And the bank was not collapsed. They still had enough money to pay everybody, but people started rumors about Silicon Valley Bank, and everybody started to withdraw their money, and that created a bank run. So that's when the FTC stepped in. Well, there was plenty of money still. So they weren't cash poor. They just didn't have cash at the bank.
I see.
So that caused the run on the bank. That caused the dump of the price. That's where somebody had to step in and take it over. And USDC on Friday night said, hey, we're fine. Whatever money's in there, we'll get on Monday. But in the meantime, people were already selling off on USDC, dunking the price down. Justin Sun sweeps in, buys a shitload of it at or near the bottom. And then just Monday morning, it goes right back up to $1. And done.
Just clicked a couple buttons, made $10 million, basically, called it a day.
It was almost comical how easy that was to just find a way to make just a ton of money.
Sure. Yeah, we played around a little bit in the stable coin fluctuations there. We had some ETH at the time. Not $80 million, not yet. Anyways, I see that in my future, but not there quite yet. But we made some money, in all those fluctuations because it was such a good bet, right? Okay, if USDC goes down, crypto has bigger problems. If USDT goes down, crypto has bigger problems. It was, yeah, there was some fear, but why when there's blood in the streets, right?
Yep.
And so that was an interesting time. And I remember I remember correctly, my family and I were on a road trip. And so, on my phone, I can't stop watching stable coin prices of all things.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And the market just, the market does what the market does. And by the way, it wouldn't have been a problem if FTX had not just collapsed.
That was another part of all that.
So there was, and what I mean, at Solana was trading for like $16, and there were some things that had people scared. So, and I think at some point, people just decided, like, if I sense anything, I'm out.
Crypto's done.
You know what I mean? Like, they're just done. And I got a buddy of mine. I had a buddy of mine that made $16 million in the 2021 bull run, and he's down to under 500K right now. I'm like, how is that even? What
did he buy?
Meme coin after meme coin after meme coin after meme coin. Just continues to, just continue. And he's a maxi that continues to hodl these things, thinking that, he's just going to pop again. And I'm like, that's not the market for it, dude. You're not going to do that. Like, why are you not, like, you're not listening? Look, I can't fix if you don't understand the market. There's plenty of, like, you could take $27 or $50 or $100 and put it into a meme coin. But this guy's trying to put 10 grand, 20 grand into every single meme coin, hoping something's going to pump, and he just becomes exit liquidity for everybody. I got another buddy who made close to $20 million, and he's got $1 million left.
No.
You're just
that breaks my heart.
You're just giving your people. It's like you don't understand the cycles, and you don't understand, how this works, and you keep throwing money, thinking that just because you decided to invest in it, it's going to go up. That's not how it works.
No.
You know what I mean? And so many people just get excited because they want to be first. They want to be the early guy on something magical. They want that next SHIB. Yep. Instead of saying, hey, I got $1 million. If I put half of this into Render right now, and Render goes from, where the fuck is Render? It's from 741. If Render goes up to $10.50 again on the next earnings report for NVIDIA, then my 500,000 is 750,000. I made 250K, and that's only like, a quarter away, because NVIDIA, I think NVIDIA's earnings were a couple weeks ago. So, they got 2.5 more months before they do it again. But I mean, like, the fuck?
Yeah.
I even told everybody the other, like, not that long ago, I'm like, guys, listen, Render it was at 650. It was back in early part of, let me go back to the day chart here, because it had a big dump here. And then after this big dump, right here. So it was at late April, beginning of May, and it was trading at like 650, something like that. And I'm like, hey, Render NVIDIA is going to be on 60 minutes. Render's about to explode. I told everybody, and I got into it, and I just I told everybody, and before you know it, it's $11. And as soon as it got to 10, I did not ride that up, by the way. As soon as it got to $10, fuck that, I'm out. I made my money. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not here for the moon bag and to try to figure out how to buy the top. I'm here to, like, I have a goal. When I get to my goal, I'm out. I don't give a shit what happens after that. So I did my part, and other people were like, oh no, I'm like, why don't you just do that? Like, why don't you just do the smart stuff instead of trying to, like, degen your way to another 17. These guys try to make it up in one, in one win. They're trying to make back
again.
They just keep trying to make that money back, 17 million at a time, instead of just win after win after win after win. All I have to do is win.
I hear you on that. My partner and I, that and all we do. My partner is actually my father, so it's a pretty cool dynamic we have.
Nice.
But the philosophy we go by that he bestowed on me was, first of all, nobody ever went broke making a profit. So, second one was, you're almost never going to buy the top, or so you're almost never going to buy the bottom, and you're almost never going to sell the top. If you can get in within 20% of that top or that bottom, you did great.
Is your dad Raul Paul?
He is not,
because that's his philosophy right there. You're describing his philosophy right there.
Okay, well, I'll have to ask him if he's what do they call it? Plagiarizing.
He's plagiarizing somebody else too. You
Sure.
know, that's the meta anyway.
Sure. And it's, people trying to go from that one $10,000 investment to 17 million, when take a penny and double it 20 times. Look at how fast, just by 2xing your money over and over and over and over again, how fast that grows. And so, yeah, I hear you, man. I've been in meme coins that literally have a 30-minute life cycle. If I didn't buy and sell while I was staring at my phone, I would have lost all my money. You're almost never, and some people did, but you're almost never going to hit that Doge, hit that SHIB, hit that Pepe. You're almost never going to be that guy. But can you be the guy that makes 20, 30, 40% every time he goes in? Yeah, you could be calculated about that.
And you don't need to be the guy that makes that. That's the sad part for most of these people. The other day, I'm in a project called Saitama on Sol, and I made an agreement with them, so I'm holding my bag no matter what. But I got in at like a penny, and it went up to 22 cents. I was telling everybody, sell. Like you're foolish if you don't sell at this point. I'm not selling because I made an agreement not to, but you'd be foolish if you don't sell at this point. Well, it went to 22 cents. And then what did it do? Came all the way down to, where's it at right now? 3.5 cents. I'm still up. I'm still up good. My bag is doubled. Like I have no complaints and no problems. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I talk about it every day. And, that was my agreement with them. Give me some tokens, I'll hold them, and I'll talk about your project. You know what I mean? And I'm doing that portion, and I'm watching the charts, and I'm letting people know what I think is going to happen. But I'm telling you, like, when it goes up, sell. Don't get caught. Like, don't get caught in these magical dreams that you're going to find that one token that you're going to put $50 in, and it's going to become $10 million.
Right.
If you $50. And you get lucky and it goes 3x. Now you got $150. If you don't need that $150, now just try it 3 more times. Do the same thing. Buy the bottom 3 times.
Yeah.
If one of them hits another 3x, you've got 150 plus you've got some other investments out here. If you like the project, take your original investment out and leave your moon bag in.
Yes.
It's very, very simple.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, you want that $1 million, fine. Why do you have a problem with 500,000?
Exactly.
What the fuck is the problem? You know what I mean? Like, it's so complicated with some of these people. Like, to try to explain, like I don't understand them most of the time. Like how do you fumble your bag so badly because you're so lazy that you don't want to do it? I don't even know. I don't even know what it is at this point.
Gambling addiction.
Something like that.
Okay. And let me ask you another question as well, because so you brought up Saitama on Sol.
Yeah.
And actually I was in a Saitama chain, sidechain.
Yeah.
Yep. Space the other day. I saw you in there listening. And so are you familiar with that ecosystem?
Yeah.
I take it.
Yeah. I was in there in the beginning. Like I was flipping Saitama when it was at $7 billion market cap back in 2021. So yeah, I mean I'm familiar. With sidechain. They reached out to somebody from one of the investors, because I used to cover them. It is asking me, can you make a make a video on Sidechain, like how to trade on it, how to do stuff on it, and stuff like that. And I said, yeah, I'll make one. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking about it, like, how do I want to approach this thing? You know what I mean? Like trying to figure because it's hard to explain to some people. Like it's a layer 0. What does that mean? Right? It means it interacts with all of the other ones. How does it interact? You know what I'm saying? Like it's very complicated to, and then what am I going to trade on it? And what I'm going to trade on it is other tokens that they've already created in that ecosystem through the SideSwap wallet. That's the kind of the limit of what you can do with it right now, unless you want to completely build on it. And then I got the white paper, and I'm like, I'm not happy with the white paper. The white paper was written as if everybody here is not savvy.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Paper, it's not a white paper that look. If I'm about to give you $10 million as seed money for a round of investment, I'm not giving it to you on this fucking white paper.
I see what you're saying.
Like you're not getting $20 off of this white paper. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's and I know he was putting it out because I complained about it, because I did a video on Sidechain a while back, and I said, I don't know what to say about it because there's no white paper. I don't know why there's no white paper. I don't understand what they're doing. I understand that there's a blockchain. There's a lot of blockchains.
I hear you.
And when it came down to it, they were like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, you're right. So they created a white paper, and I'm like, the white paper. I don't even like the white paper. Like, are you trying? They're working on it. It's a work in progress. Let's just put it that way.
Valid. Okay. Yeah, because I noticed they were another PulseChain like community in that they had a lot of enthusiasts. They very tight knit circle, it seems, having a lot of those similar discussions that other small blockchains have. So we actually made Sidechain a native blockchain in the Internet Money wallet. Trying to just outreach and make connections there, and build on these. Like one thing we like to do is support smaller networks, because Ethereum, Solana, they basically have all the support in the world. Not that we don't want to support them, because of course we do, but just going and giving smaller chains relevance. I think there's a lot of value there. It's easier in a lot of ways to be a bigger fish in a smaller pond, so to speak. So I was just curious. Saw you out there.
I'm a big fish. I'm a big fish in everybody's pond.
Dude, I'm glad to be friends, because I mean, my Bitcoin shirt's a little loose.
Not mine.
Yeah, no, I see that. So, okay. Now, one more thing I did want to ask. Do you have a few more minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. So, but in the green room, you talked a little bit about being somebody who is at least decent. I'll let you use your own hype words to describe your skills, but at reading and kind of gauging market sentiment and the direction of where the market is going. And I know a big question that I see a lot out there right now in crypto is, are we in a bear? Are we in a bull? What the heck is going on right now? I don't even know if crypto knows what it is or what it wants. Do you have any insight or opinions there?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I just posted it on Twitter a little while ago, and I asked everybody to share it.
Here, let me check it out.
Let me present.
Yeah, please do. And you are sharing.
This is important. I am unable to reach all people. My footprint isn't large enough in crypto, so I need everyone to share this. USDT just hit an all-time market cap. Bitcoin is trading over 60,000. Ethereum is about to launch an ETF. If you're bearish right now, you're a fucking idiot. Pass this around.
All right, so there's no room for guessing what your perspective is. Understood.
The context. I think everybody there's pieces of it that people I think they don't. It's weird that you've seen it before and you still don't understand it.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, Bitcoin just hit an all-time high. Are we in a bear market? No. Bitcoin is in a full-on bull run, and Bitcoin is just this far away from the next leg up. When you come and look at Bitcoin and you see what it's doing within this channel right now, around 60 to 70,000, up to 73 right now, within this range, it is consolidating. This is not a bear market. Let me zoom out here to remind people, we're consolidating at the top. Let me turn off high IQ because nobody's paying for that. We're near the top and we're consolidating near the top. This is what's called a bull run. We've been in a bull market since January of 2023 for Bitcoin. This is why I was telling all these guys before. Remember, I told you what I was telling you before about the show that I'm doing, that we're in a bull market because this curve right here, we were on a parabolic curve cycle. So up until the halving, we were going to be on that cycle. And I said we were going to end over 50,000. And most likely we were going to be right here at 69,000 and testing the all-time high. Well, we spiked up a little bit more. You don't get everything 100% right, but I got closer than anybody else in the crypto space about what we were going to do. Now we're consolidating at the high. Here's the problem. The reason that you're not feeling it, if you don't feel it, is this right here. Solana kind of got close to its all-time high. It kind of got close there, and now it's consolidating in range right now for what Solana's probably going to do right now, break up here into the 170 range, get rejected back down to 140, and then have a breakout somewhere in around August, because we're going to be in the third quarter, and that's probably where the breakout's going to happen. When you look at Ethereum, you kind of see the same thing. It did the same thing, and it broke out one extra time over here from that last descending channel, formed a new descending channel, and it's going to break out again as soon as they say, hey, the ETF is coming. Now, those are only a couple of higher up tokens that are having a fantastic run. But when you come back down and you start to really look around, XRP, not even close, right? XRP is still almost a flat line, even considering the settlement with the SEC pumped that price up near $1. After that, it immediately came back down. As soon as you found this kind of spike, the sellers moved in. All of the sellers in this range right here came in to erase all those gains, and we went right back to where we were before. And remember, part of the reason here is XRP, they continue to sell off themselves because they are the majority holder of XRP, and until they've diluted how much they have, XRP is not really going to go very far. They've got to stop selling, and they've got too many expenses right now to quit selling. They've got settlements that they have to do with the SEC. They've got plenty of things that they need cash for, so they're going to continue to sell. They're going to continue to dunk on the price. So, but the point is, we're not even close to the all-time high. Crow is one that everybody loved. Anybody was telling you the one thing that you had to have in crypto was Crow, right?
I had the card.
Well, here it is. Crow is a goddamn dead stick in this market. This is Crow right now. Like, it is barely spiked.
Looks like a rug pull.
Now, let's go look at some other ones. Cardano. It's basically the same thing.
Oh, man.
Let's go to Aave. Aave these are quality projects. Same thing. Like, they're dead, right? And they're not dead. That's the point. They're not dead, but they sure as shit look like it. And here is Cosmos. Cosmos is one of the most robust ecosystems in all of crypto. Dead. Right? There's only about 9 tokens total, or coins, in the top 200 that have had big runs that were around for the last bull run. So we're not in the bull phase of altcoins yet. The reason that we're not is, by the way, that doesn't mean that we're not going to have nice runs, but there are a lot of these out here. BNB is going to be one of those outliers. BNB is one that had that move.
Yeah, BNB pumped hard.
Right. BNB, I got to take this off because I expect a breakout on BNB coming pretty soon. It did, by the way, it did break out where I said it was going to break out, but it didn't stay. I thought that it was going to do a continuation of this move right here, but it only went about halfway up and then came back down. but it made an all-time high.
Did.
But as you go back down, what about Bone? Bone just continues. By the way, Bone is about to pump in August. Again, they're all going to pump like in August, according to all of the data that I have. Bone's probably going to go back up here to $1.60 from like it's at 45, 48 cents right now. You know, Bone's going to 4x pretty soon. SHIB,
Is this the Shibarium coin?
yeah. It's the gap
okay.
for Shibarium.
Okay.
SHIB, in fact, if you look at SHIB, SHIB's going to have an explosive move pretty soon. Like I keep looking at it to have a breakout, and it broke out. But then the market, you know, the market, it's just not there yet. We're not ready for it. But I mean, you know, it doesn't look like the same flat line as some of these other ones, but it's still kind of flatlined, right? And then Dogecoin. I mean, Dogecoin, their little pump right here, it's like that's a blip on a radar that, you know, I mean, this was 75 cents back here when Elon went on stage on Saturday Night Live. And at best, it came back up here to like 22 cents. For anybody who got in down here at 7 cents, it's a good 3x if you cashed back out. But then it came all the way back down to where it's trading at 12 cents again right now. Now, does Dogecoin have a future? Yes, it does. Is it going to be a payment system in X? Most probably. Will it have? Will it reach 75 cents again? Well, I don't know, because the supply of tokens that were around back then, if you have the same market cap as you had right here, which I want to say was something in the neighborhood of like 87 billion or something like that. If you have that same market cap, then it's only going to go up to like 68 cents or 63 cents. I'm sorry. It's only going to go to 63 cents because there's so many more Dogecoin in the market right now. So that's, you know, it's not pumping. When you go to Phantom had a nice little recovery right here. Feels pretty good, but come back out here. It was $3.48. Like it's barely doing anything. So, you know, the shorts, the long, even though this was a long summary, the short summary is we're not there yet. We're not in the full-on bull market. And there's one piece that's missing. And the piece that's missing is tax time. We went through this past tax time pre-halving. We did this the last time. And we had a nice little recovery, or we had a nice little move. If you were to go back and look at Bitcoin during that period of time, you will see that we kind of had this sort of move from May 7 of 2020. You know what? God damn, let me share it again.
No, please. I am. You are educating me very thoroughly right now. I had not gone and looked at all those charts in that way you just did, and you just painted a beautiful picture that I hope everybody is smelling what Bleeves is stepping in right now.
Well, I'm going to show you one right here. It took 87 days for Bitcoin to go up 20% from the last halving. So that was May 7, and it took until around July 20th or July 30th. Is that right? Yeah, July 30th of 2020. Now, here's the part that matters. If you were to zoom in on this and look at it from this context, we're in the bull phase, right? And if you come back over here, you can see this was the dip, this was the rip. So, you know, just consider here, we're down here at the bottom at 3,033. And when we get here, it's 9,000. So in the accumulation phase, Bitcoin did the same thing it's doing right now. Didn't do it as robustly and as well. This is an outlier because of the ETF, but it's doing the same thing. And then after the halving, this is what happened. Nothing. And when you consider, you know, when did we see an enormous spike actually happen? Well, that came around October, right? So how long did it really take over here? Well, we take that and we come over here. This is when it really started to rip. That was 168 days after the halving, okay? 168 days. Took 87 days to get there. However, in the previous bull run, same thing happened, and we have to zoom in. I'm not going to zoom all the way in for the low numbers here, but it took 148 days to do the same thing. Now, if you consider that, then we're probably speeding up the cycle. But if we are, it's just a little bit. If we are, in fact, the other part is it's easier to go from $10 to $20, right, and do 100% increase than it is to go from 60,000 to 120,000.
Right.
Financially, it's just an easier thing to do. So there's the curve that we're on as well. So consider that we're in this consolidation range, just like we were over here. Again, 87 days. We're at about 60 days as of right now. I don't even think we're at that. We're about 60 days in, I think.
So you're saying 60 days post having
Yeah, we're
that
69 days. We're 69 days after the halving right now.
okay.
So, another 20 or 30 days, and we'll be at that 87-day point. If we go up 20% from where we were at the halving, and this is where you're going to be like, well, goddamn, it's not going to be that much because we're looking at a 20% increase from the halving date, which is right here. I think we'll get it right there. Whoops, let's take that off for a second. So it was 59,635. It closed at 63,846 on the halving day.
Okay.
So 63,846, let's call it right around here. To go up 20% is going to be my green line right there, which is 77,148. So that's what I'm looking for. Is I'm looking for a move up to this line right here, 78,000 or 77,148. After we get to this area right here, probably sideways again. This is the next leg up right at 77,000. And because of the ETFs, we're going to have a spike and it goes over and we'll probably bounce around like right here, between 73 and 84. So, we'll probably have like a big range over here. And then we're going to get towards the end of the year and people are going to be like, you know what? I'm selling off because of Christmas, or I'm selling off because of taxes. I'm selling off because I got to pay bills and stuff like that. January 1st, you better strap a rocket ship to your ass because January 1st, Bitcoin is headed to the fucking moon. Because
put a number on the moon.
Because institution knows this. They're going to have their, and by the way, I think we're going to touch 90,000 before the end of this year.
Okay.
We'll wick and we'll spike up there into that 90,000 range. We won't stay there because it doesn't make any sense to stay in that range, but we're going to spike up into that range. However, when we get into the full-on bull run, then you're looking at about a $6 trillion market cap. And when you're looking at a $6 trillion market cap, based on the market share, based on the fact that Ethereum is going to have a nice run too, and it's going to take some of the luster off of Bitcoin, you're looking at $150,000 Bitcoin reasonably in this bull run.
And when do you estimate that will occur? Not financial advice, just guessing, throwing stuff at a wall.
If I'm guessing, May of 2025.
May of 25. You think that we're in full-on undeniable bull run is here?
Well, we got tax money. We got a couple things. You got to remember what's working for you and what's working against you. If we have Donald Trump as president, we're probably going to get a much bigger spike during that period of time because he's going to be talking wild shit about, nobody should ever pay taxes again.
Right.
People who live on wages should never have to pay taxes. He's going to do some wild shit. He's going to lie to you to get elected, no matter what. Like that is who he is. That is what he does. Now, and by the way, I can say that because I'm voting for him, and I voted for him in 2016 too. But he's going to say whatever he needs to say to get people to pay attention to him and elect him. He will lie to you. Then he will blame Congress for not being able to do it. Shit like that. You know what I mean?
Sure,
That's sure. Joe Biden, same thing. This month, wait a minute, we're not there yet. July, Mark Cuban and Ro Khanna are having a roundtable with the White House and the major companies that are involved in cryptocurrency currently in the United States. So they're going to be meeting with Coinbase. They're going to be meeting. Crypto.com is going to be there. Chris from Crypto.com is going to be there. There's going to be a lot of big time people that are building in the United States that are going to be there. And Joe Biden is going to ask them, what do you need from me to make something happen here?
Wow.
That's what's getting ready to happen. Doesn't matter who's president. It's going to go on. It is my opinion that if Donald Trump is there, he's such a wild card, it'll go crazy. But no matter who's president, we are going to have an epic run.
Crypto's so in the zeitgeist right now. It's
right.
So
it has become part of the narrative, part of the conversation. We are now in the game. So all of the things that you've wanted to see, all of that stuff is coming. The problem, I'll tell you what the problem is. The problem is that maxis for Bitcoin are not funneling money down into alts. That's why you're not seeing the rising tide will lift all ships, but we haven't had that blow off of altcoin season yet. We haven't had Ethereum outperforming Bitcoin, and then we haven't had alts outperforming Ethereum, and then we hadn't had that meme coin blow off. Okay, now we're probably not going to have the same thing that we had before because the pool is diluted, because there were I think 2 million token. There were something like 200,000 cryptocurrencies in 2021, and there's about 3 million now. So the money, just consider this. A lot of people are sitting in meme tokens that are never going to make any money, or dead projects. EOS. We loved EOS at one point, but it's dead. Like nobody's building on it. Nobody's doing anything with it. It's being delisted from places right now.
Wow.
But EOS was a big project at one point. And I don't know where it's, let me see if I'm not even following it anymore, but it was a big project, and now it's being delisted everywhere. So there are projects that are, but it's got millions upon millions upon millions of dollars locked up in it too, by the way. And, if you just consider going through some of the old meme coins, it used to be that you had, what was it? Saitama, I said, had $7.7 billion market cap way back when. And that was cool. But you also had Kishu, which had, I want to say it went to close to $1 billion market cap. You had, of course, SHIB, you had Dogecoin, you had stuff, but you had a limited number of them that were popping off. That can't happen to all these tokens anymore, right? Because now, if you just go down the list, let me share one more time, because now I'm going to show you.
Please.
And we're just going to take some of the stuff that I cover right now we haven't had the big pump yet, right? But just consider here, Saitama on Sol right now has 157,000 in liquidity. Daddy, which is a friend of mine, Rodney Sorensen, My Crypto Journey, he has 123,000 in liquidity in his project. AMC, which didn't exist before, has 500,000 in liquidity. Neko has 122,000 in liquidity. Fias, which is a brand new launch that just came out a couple days ago. It's a video game token for Litcraft, has 107,000 in liquidity. Volt Inu has 3 million in liquidity. Trump has 9 million in liquidity. Pepe has 50 million in liquidity. This is just Uniswap, by the way. It has more liquidity, but just Uniswap. Skid, Success Kid, 220,000 in liquidity. Whiff, Dog with Hat, 15 million on Uniswap in liquidity. Myro, who's a good dog, by the way, 3 million in liquidity. EXVG, which is a project I did a video on. I'm holding a big bag of it. 119,000 in liquidity. And you keep going down here. Floki, 20.1 million in liquidity sitting in Floki right now. Just on Uniswap. Ski Mask Dog, 421,000 in liquidity. Bonk, 2.95 million in liquidity. Brett, 14.7 million in liquidity. Dev E, 298,000 in liquidity. Bencoin, $723,000 in liquidity on Bencoin. GME, 4 million. Dougall's a brand new token, just launched a couple days ago. $165,000 in liquidity sitting on it right now. I told people right now to sell when they were up at the top up here, and they were like, "Oh no, it's going to keep going, bro." Well, you learned your lesson, didn't you?
Bleeves was right again.
Yeah. Trademaster Ninja here has $219,000 in liquidity. Now, none of this existed except for 3 of them or 4 of them in the last bull run. All that money has now diluted. If all of that money was not in all of these different projects, it would be in a project like Volt.
It'd be concentrated.
Exactly. Volt, if you just look at Volt, and if you are an outside investor and you're looking at a project and you're trying to be wowed by a project, this is Volt Inu. Now, I was in it for a long period of time. I have a small bag on a centralized exchange. I'm not a big time holder or anything like that. I don't big time hodl on anything. I get in, I get out. You know what I mean? But the point is, $3 million in liquidity, only a $22 million market cap. Come to their website and just take a moment to look at what they're building. VoltiChain, which is their own centralized, decentralized exchange. It's their own DEX. Then you've got the Volta Dragon Sailors Club, which is an NFT collection, which is used in Volti games Volti Games has, not only do they have this, which is basically just a drive around game, but they also have Volt Island, which is available on Steam,
Wow.
and they have
Wow.
Bullet Island, which is available on the Epic game launcher. There's two different first-person shooter games that are currently available for you to play that attach your NFT into the game so that you can play with that. Then you have the VoltiFlex ecosystem. You have Volti Eco. If you come over here, you can use a credit card. You have a Volt credit card that you can use. This thing has built all kinds of shit, but only has a $22 million market cap. I saw somebody do it, and I'm not partnered with them, so I don't talk about them too much anymore because, you know, I got to protect my income and stuff. But I saw a guy who was talking about this on let me see if it was Volt.
Real quick, while you look
I think
that
they
up,
shared it, but this guy was talking about it, and you know, he's just one of those guys with, you know, 50, 100,000 followers that, you know, is just kind of out here looking for meme coins, and he said it probably better than anybody that I've seen say it in a while, and it's going to escape me here, but he's got, oh wait a minute, I'm almost there. It is kind of close. He said that he saw this kind of out of nowhere, and then he started to do his own research, and when he did, it was criminal how much this thing is being looked over at this point. But when the market really hits, it won't be it won't be passed over anymore. But the point is, if it were not for all these other tokens, none of this stuff would be in the strait that it's in right now. Wouldn't have a $22 million market cap. Volt at one point had, I want to say, about $270 million market cap when it pumped super hard. So, and you know, I was driving somewhere and I look at my wallet and I got 50 grand in my wallet for Volt. You know what I mean? And that's not going to happen until some of these other tokens just disappear. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of where we are. So, you know, we're going to see some pumps. We're going to see some wild shit happen in this market, but there's a lot of money parked in a lot of weird places that are just not going to go to the moon anymore.
I understand exactly what you're saying. It's the liquidity is spread out amongst the ecosystem. And when things pump, it's because people come in and concentrate that liquidity. And usually other things get sold down. So some things do have to die. And maybe that does prevent prevents a lot of these projects, you know, pumping to the moon. It'll still happen to some, of course, but there's going to be less possibility for you to hit it because the options are more abundant. So I hear what you're saying completely. And here you were, that was Solana, right? So
that was Ethereum. The news on Ethereum.
Got it. Okay. So that was on Ethereum. Now on Uniswap, like you said, there's in amount of dexes on Ethereum, and you just went over, I don't know what, 50 million or more, $100 million in liquidity off of most people watching this stream probably haven't heard of any of those tokens.
Right.
And you introduced me to Volt Inu today. And I'm like, do you have a game on Epic Game Launcher? That's incredible.
The game is actually really, really fun. It's a first person shooter. You fly. It's a Fortnite clone. You know, just drop down out of town, get onto the island, and then you attach your Volted Dragon NFT. And then once you attach that Volted Dragon NFT onto it, then it takes on the appearance of, you know, whatever your character is.
So can you earn in game? Can you earn NFTs? Can you earn Volt Inu? Can you?
It's just a play game right now. Bullet Island is where you earn. Volt Island was just the test. That was kind of the, you know, they were just trying to make it happen over there. So, and by the way, you know, one of the interesting things about all of these different spaces is people are looking for different ways to earn crypto from playing video games.
Absolutely.
But if you earn crypto from playing video games, then you're diluting the value of that crypto.
Because you're inevitably going to sell it to realize
money. And nobody's buying when everybody's getting it for free.
Well, so, the way I've seen that counteracted is the way the Sandbox does it, and they use the sand as the in-game currency. So if you want to buy other stuff, so it it keeps this healthy economy going. We're like, yeah, people are earning and dumping, but people are also buying to have in-game currency.
That's why I'm holding Fias right now. And
Uh,
I've got like 70,000 Fias tokens. It's part of Litcraft, which was rated one of the top games from Cointelegraph last year. So, and it's an ecosystem that has like 12 different games in it, mini games that you can go in there and play, and you earn Fias and you burn Fias when you play.
Wow.
So I'm holding on to that for same thing. When GameFi comes back around, this is one of those games that'll find its way. And, GameFi is dead, basically. Until something, I don't know what it's going to take. It's going to take retail coming back to the ecosystem. And by the way, for those that don't know, Epic has gone like head first into Web3 gaming. So you're going to
Really?
see a lot of internet crypto games popping up on Epic pretty soon, because they are going all in on it.
There's such a crossover between gaming and crypto. And I used to be a way bigger gamer, but now, father, business owner, I don't get to game nearly as much as I'd like. So, but when I do try to go engage the gaming community and explain to them, hey, here's all the awesome things you can do with crypto, they just call me a nut, a kook. So it's like in the gaming world, there's this overarching sentiment that crypto is for crazy people. But then I use the example, okay, you play Fortnite. How many hundreds or thousands of dollars have you put into skins? Hey, let me tell you this. Go recapture that money and time investment. You can't.
Right.
Now, if all these skins were NFTs, all these special items, you could actually monetize your time and be a gamer as a profession, even if you're not a streamer. You could just be good at the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think there's a game I really like called Skyweaver. That's a crypto game. Are you familiar with Hearthstone? You ever heard of that game?
I'm not a TCG guy, but yeah.
Okay. So it's a Hearthstone like game. Now, when a user plays Skyweaver, they earn NFTs as some of the rarer cards. But Skyweaver's done a great job of making the user like they don't even really know they're interacting with crypto. And I think that's a big part of it too, is the gamer doesn't want to take extra steps. They just want to see the benefits, So saying, oh, go download a wallet and learn about this token. And no, now you're selling them on crypto, and then you're selling them on a wallet, and then you're selling them on all these things when it's just like, hey, I just want to play the game and make money,
That's why Immutable is one of the best companies out there right now. Immutable, because what they do is they make gasless transactions for video games that make it easy for you to onboard with their technology, crypto, into games that you don't even see it.
Oh, see that's the sauce right there is. Oh, IMX, Immutable, IMX, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that's or a game like a big game that people play, like one of the sports franchises, or a Call of Duty, or a Fortnite, or a League of Legends, or something like that has this huge community. If they start it, then I think other games will follow. And that's actually a sector of already nerdy people who are doing internet stuff. It seems like the easiest transition. And so much of crypto, even if you're in an ecosystem, in a coin that is not a game, it is a game. You learn the rules, you learn the risks, the game theory. I try to sell all my gamer friends on, dude, just spend that gaming energy on crypto and make the points you earn dollars in your bank account. Crypto's the same thing. So I feel like gaming is the ultimate Trojan horse for crypto, arguably.
It is, and it would be the best thing that we could see is not like there's people building a lot of games, but there's a lot of games out there that are pulling in a lot of yield and a lot of revenue.
Mm-hmm.
Converting Minecraft into an NFT based game.
Oh yeah.
You'll never see it, but that whole if you were to pop up into Minecraft right now, I think the first thing that it shows you is like go to the store and buy some skins and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that.
Mm-hmm.
Like those are, I think that's exactly what you're looking for in these games. Imagine this. I don't know if you ever played it, but every once in a while when I get time, which is rare, but when I do get time, I have a heavily modded version of Skyrim.
Nice.
And it's 4K. I've got, whatever the hottest, newest. I've got so many mods with just quest after quest after quest after quest after quest. I completed the game a long time ago, but I can still just go in there and start playing. And I've probably got, a list. I think you press J on your computer to get your quest thing list to come up. I probably have 100 quests that are sitting there that I've taken that I just haven't completed. And when I get a free moment or if I get a half hour in the middle of the day, I'll pop into Skyrim and just play. I've got there's a bunch of AI mods that came out, so I put those onto, so I have AI bosses, I have AI where all the mobs will run from you if they're losing, and
Wow.
like it's changed the game fundamentally. And this game is what, 12 years old, so I still have this thing on my computer that I still play. And when I see a new mod that comes out, I get on my phone, I get alerts that say, hey, you might want to try this, and why do I want to try this? And I'll just read it, and it'll tell me like, you should probably try it because it's pretty fucking cool. And I'll try it. Like, what the hell? You know what I mean? If I don't like it, and I have so many mods I probably just never even touched. There's probably parts of them that I've just never played. You know what I mean? But the thing about it is, a game like that is just rife because it has like a mod community.
Yeah.
Now imagine if your mod community in Diablo or your mod community in Skyrim, imagine if they were doing it with NFTs.
They're already in the bowels of the internet in crypto. I hear you. And I'm not even really sure what their resistance is, other than,
well, the resistance is their method is fine. Nothing about what they're doing is broken. They're making money hand over fist. Bethesda has been milking Skyrim for 12 years now, and it's still one of the most played games in all of video games to this day. Diablo 4 is still played heavily, and you can go in there and you can microtransact, right? They don't need to change the game yet. What you need, or what we're gonna need in a lot of these games, if we're going to have this, is gonna be PlayStation or Microsoft puts it into Xbox. And OBX says, I'm in Gala myself. Gala's got the dumbest fucking games. Like there's nothing fun about those games. Like what if you want mass adoption from video games, it's nice to have all these different video games, but all these different video games that we're looking at right now, these are just tests. These are proof of concept. These are not the final product. The final boss in all of this is going to be when what it was whoever Grand Theft Auto 6 is it that's coming out? When Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out, it's going to have like simulated cryptocurrency. But what if it had real cryptocurrency? You know what I mean? What if when they made Red Dead Redemption 3, which I assume is going to be coming at some point, what if that's the first big NFT blockchain game? You know what I mean? What if the next Call of Duty has microtransactions and it does that? What if Team Fortress 2, or what if Counter-Strike? What if a game that people are just, it's gonna take one game that's gonna make the difference, and we don't have that game. Doesn't exist yet. There's plenty of cool games, by the way. There's some really fun, really cool games that are out there that you can play, but they're not the big league games. It's going to take, for example, Madden football. If you bought all of your players, remember, because when you play Madden, I think what you use now are cards.
Right.
So you buy a card for a player to get them on your team, or you earn a card for the player to get them on your team. If you do that with NFTs, and then you can resell them to other players
That's
after
the
you've
key.
leveled up your character or something like that, or you've leveled up that player. Now you've created value, and you've got a value proposition where people can come in and you can buy it, or people can buy it from you, and then the company gets a cut off of it, and you've created an ecosystem. But you have to have a game that everybody wants to play already. So it's got to be Call of Duty. It's got to be, what's the big horror games that were out? Like what was the one that was underwater? BioShock. A BioShock type game, or in God forbid it happens, World of Warcraft, the second World of Warcraft, where all of the items in the game are just NFTs.
Yeah,
And
or gold, silver, bronze is a token.
But the thing is, remember that in World of Warcraft, when you looted an item and it was an epic item, and it was BOE, then that's for the norms, right? The normies would want a BOE item, so you put it on the auction house, and people would buy it. Well, what if that auction house, you earned real crypto for
Right.
that, and then they took a cut of the real crypto? Like, you're creating an asset class right here, and then you can buy that crypto and you can import that crypto into your game, and then you could just be, it's fascinating. You just have to find that right thing. World of Warcraft 2 be the perfect place, because if that happened, I'm telling you right now, gaming would be to the moon and beyond.
Mm.
But it's going to take something like that.
I agree with that completely. It's something that people are already hooked on, not saying, hey, come play my game. I mean, I could go on Xbox or, Steam or whatever, and there's thousands of games you've never heard of. So, yes, I completely agree. And I think, though, that the bigger games like Call of Duty, like Fortnite, they're actually probably gatekeeping it a little bit, because they're probably more disincentivized, right? It's probably a better revenue model to just say, no, you can't transfer your skins. You have to keep buying crates or whatever the dice roll item in the game is, and just keep hitting it, keep hitting it, keep hitting it till you get the thing that you want, or you may never get it. So they're probably making more money that way.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like that, and that's what I said earlier. Like, they're not incentivized to do any of this.
Right.
It's going to have to be, it's going to have to be Microsoft's Xbox or PlayStation or Nintendo. One of them is going to have to be blockchain specific. In fact, it is my opinion, and I don't have anything to back this up, but it is my opinion that PlayStation will end up using Jasmy as their blockchain.
I remember there being some connection between PlayStation and Jasmy.
Some former Sony executives for PlayStation are the founders of Jasmy.
Got it.
That's what ended up happening. And I don't think there's any partnership on the table or anything like that. They just decided they were going to do this because this was the wave of the future. Now, if it comes to pass that they find some way to integrate it into a Sony PlayStation and the Jasmy blockchain becomes part of it, then Jasmy explodes, and then the gaming world will just erupt from there.
Man. All right. So what you're saying is
easy. If the toolkit is easy, then the developers will be the ones that benefit greatly from that blockchain technology. And I'm not sure whether or not it's easier this way or if it's easier that way, because there's a level of control that PlayStation currently has that they're not going to want to give up.
Absolutely.
So they're going to not want a permissionless blockchain. They're going to want a permissioned blockchain. So I'm assuming that Jasmy in some way can be permissioned for that purpose. So, so that the PlayStation controls it. But then when you get past that, once that happens, then you're unlocking Pandora's box. And now Valve is going to come out. They're going to be like, well, we need to fucking do something about this. And they're going to sell games are going to be NFTs. That's going to be the next level up. And then Steam is going to be a blockchain. And then Epic is going to be a blockchain. And that's where you're going to get your games. And your games will always be there. All you have to do is be able to log into that blockchain and have your, I don't know if it's going to be a seed phrase or not. I think we're going to be moving past that pretty soon. But, that's how you're going to onboard people, because it'll be easier and more profitable for the big companies to adopt it. It'll make their life easier. It'll make their jobs easier, and it'll make them more profitable.
I hear you on that. And I think I'm with you there that it's probably going to come from PC gaming first because it makes more sense that way. PC gamers are already the giga brain gaming community, if you will. And it's so like it's cool, even if this Volt Inu system is just a test, the fact that they're getting games on Steam. I mean, who knows? Maybe it's the other way around where some crypto backed game is so good that it catches steam, no pun intended, and that could also maybe aid to the movement. Oh, you got to try this game. Everybody's playing this game. Oh, dude, did you know I'm making money when I'm playing this game? You know, isn't that every gamer's dream? Get paid to play games.
Yeah, here you go. This is VDSC right here. I haven't played it since August of last year. But if I'm not going to download it right now, but if you download it and pop it in, then it's pretty fun. You know what I mean? Like it's pretty fun. And then I think if we go to store, let me see if it's here.
I can't find VDSC on the Steam or on the Epic.
Yeah, here's Bullet Rain. It's also on Steam. Sorry,
Steam.
Okay. And here's Bullet Rain. There's the Volt logo right there.
Oh, very cool. Very cool.
Next to the Forge. And you can see right here, it's kind of the same sort of game. It's, Counter-Strike, something like that.
Do they have content creators for it?
He outsources it and has it. It's a one guy. And he's, see here, it was released on June 7th. It was just released a couple days ago onto this ecosystem. It's ironic that we're talking about it at this point, but this game is a classic first-person shooter. As it is still in development, features and weapons will be added step by step. We hope you'll enjoy our work. And, as you go down here, a grim future, sky unleashed a torrential rain of destruction, earning its fearsome moniker. Colossal battleship bombarded the planet, and it was called Bullet Rain. Alien life forms revealing themselves to humanity. So there's a little bit of story behind it. And similar games are Rainbow Six Siege, Battlefield 2042, Gray Zone Warfare, Destiny 2, Body Cam, Counter-Strike 2, Hell Let Loose, Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Apex Legends, Call of Duty Black Ops, the finals. So, just in the same vein as the games that people like to play. And you can go over here and you can download it right away.
That's cool. I got it pulled up here. I'm definitely going to give it a shot. I've been considering making some crypto gaming content. Yeah, I've never really made gaming content, but I want to bridge the gap. I want to reach outside of our echo chamber and try to help the initiative,
Yeah, I'm going to put this and make it a favorite because I'll end up playing it. It's only 4 gigabytes.
When you download it, let's add each other. Let's co-stream us slaying people on Bullet Rain.
Yeah. But as you can see, the only 2 games that I have installed are Elder Scrolls Skyrim Special Edition. I've got the VR version, but I don't like MetaQuest 2.
Gotcha.
It doesn't run very well. It used to not run very well. I heard it's really been fixed pretty good. But then I have ESO, Elder Scrolls Online. I've got Left 4 Dead 1 and 2. I've got Red Dead Redemption 2 on my computer and Elder Scrolls, and that's it. And I got Field Runners, which is an old tower defense game. Fucking love those.
Love tower defense.
But then I have like Divinity 2, Original Sin. I'm a real good RPG guy. Dungeon Siege 2, Half-Life 2, Half-Life Lost Coast, Metro 2033, Path of Exile, Propagation VR, which, by the way, if you are into VR games, Propagation VR is a fucking banger. Oh my God, it is so creepy. Man, if you've never played a VR game and that is your first VR game, you're going to pee yourself that first.
Oh, no.
Oof.
Oh, no.
This is one of those games where it's a zombie game. And when you are playing, then you're in first person mode. Like you're just looking around, and your controllers are your guns, and you reach down and you have to like do the movements to reload your gun, and you only have so many bullets before you have to push it down and reload it and keep going. But you have zombies coming at you, and you got to do headshots, because if you just shoot them normally, you're just going to slow them down. But then when you get past a certain point, you're in a subway. The subway moves on, and when the subway moves on, there's giant spiders on the other side.
Oh.
And these giant spiders have baby spiders on their underbellies. So when
Oh.
they cross the tracks and come at you, the baby spiders are coming under them and coming after you too. So not only do you have to fight, and you're shooting and shooting and shooting, while you're doing that, you have to actually move your hand to like swipe the spiders off of you,
Oh.
because they'll get on your head and your face, and like it's just so creepy. It's so creepy.
You know, if you're listening out there and you haven't played a VR game, when you're actually in VR, your brain is kind of tricked. Like if you jump
There's
off
the spiders right here.
Oh, dude, see, I can't do horror in VR, man. I don't really play that much VR because it's a lot, but I'm not doing horror. Oh, no way. No.
Yeah, you got to hit a headshot, otherwise these things will keep coming at you. So like you see it coming from a distance, and you've got a few guns that you can swap too. But look at this, these spiders
Those
right here,
graphics look pretty
and they
good
move
too,
out of
man.
your way. Like they try to avoid you. And then there's little ones that pop out from underneath them, and they'll just start crawling all over you, and you just got to swipe them off. And look, there's a big one coming down and coming across the thing, and she's got babies with her.
Oh no.
And fighting these spiders is so gross, because they like get right in your face and come out of nowhere. Like here they are coming through the dark. And then every once in a while, one of them will come along after you, and it's got babies on it. And those babies will just start messing with you.
Everybody should try VR. If you haven't tried VR, you got it. It's almost terrifying how immersive it truly is.
All right, so the thing just passed. So now the babies are coming after you. So you'll start seeing like it, because it keeps leveling up. It gets harder and harder and harder. So the more spiders you kill as they're coming after you, the more advanced they get. And part of that advancement is they have little babies on them that are coming over, and they're attacking you while the other one's attacking you. And then you have these like crazy things that show up out of nowhere. And while you're fighting this thing, you have to shoot it in its arms to blow those sacks up. And then you can't shoot in the head. And then while you're doing this, then spiders start coming after you still. You know what I mean? Like it's so wild.
Wow.
It's just a creepy game.
Well, I don't have VR, but I'll add it. See, when I played VR, I liked games like Beat Saber. I thought that was fun. You ever played that one?
Yeah, I play. Yeah, I matter of fact, I played it the other day. Like I pulled out the headset and played it the other day.
That's such an amazing game. You know, that's what I'm playing in VR. I could see why that would appeal. But man, you jump off buildings sometimes. You're run like when I first started playing VR, I couldn't get off of my knee. I had to like take a knee because there was a level of like, whoa, I'm moving. You know, so
yeah,
it's
I have an area in my house where I go to play. Also, for Sasquatch, who remembers Day of Defeat, not only do I remember Day of Defeat, but I played Medal of Honor Allied Assault. In a clan for probably a year. I mean, that goes back probably 20 something years, but I'm old enough to have played that game too.
I played Medal of Honor in a clan on my PSP.
Nice.
Remember PSPs?
Yep.
Yeah, I actually still have that thing. I have the God of War edition PSP.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, man, on that note, I'm glad we got to gaming. I'm gonna clip your market alpha. That was really helpful to me as an individual. Is there anything else that you want to talk about or bring up while we're here?
Yeah, guys, we're in the bull run. This is you're in the shit right now. You're not experiencing the big pump on a lot of different tokens because you haven't had retail really return in a robust fashion. The reason for that is because the economy has been prohibitive and the Chinese government has been prohibitive. But there's rumors right now that the Chinese government is about to open up the floodgates to crypto by re-legalizing it. Now, crypto is banned in China, but it's always been a wink, wink, nod, nod thing where every once in a while they just remind everybody. Well, they've made some changes, and what's going on in Hong Kong with the ETFs and with the crypto approval have changed the way China is seeing this. Now that they've got the CBDC yuan out there, and they've got a blockchain called Conflux where they can, they've got a level of control on their system. They're about to open up, and these are rumors, but they're about to open up crypto. The big market for cryptocurrency is China, despite that the US right now controls it. The reason that China is not controlling it is because they're banned. China's going to open up. The United States is going to change its policy on cryptocurrency. Guys, you're at the beginning of what is going to be the biggest bull run that you've ever seen. Please make sure that you're responsible. Please make sure that you understand that these bull markets have cycles. Please make sure that you make all of your money between now and let's just call it October of 2025, maybe November of 2025, maybe even December of 2025. But by that point, we should be on the way back down. And we probably will not correct all the way down. If you do a fib retracement, we probably don't come down 75% again this time. We probably only come down 70% or 65% on this next run. I think that where we are right now, 73,000 in a year or so is going to be the bottom of the next market. So plan accordingly. When you be responsible, take your profits, make sure that you change your life. And remember, you don't owe a cryptocurrency shit. You don't owe a cryptocurrency anything. You owe yourself, you owe your family, the prosperity that your investment can provide. Do that first and then worry about your cryptocurrency second. And if you do that, you're going to make it.
I have nothing further to add. Well articulated, well said. If you want to reach myself, if you want to reach Bleeves, our links are down in the description below. Bleeves, it was great to meet you virtually. Thank you for all your time, your input, and your expertise. I hope that you and I continue talking going forward.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on.
Yes, sir. Have a great day.
Got my own keys and my own coin. Gotta protect this money. Took too long for me to get it.